Hello, and welcome to Experiment 3. We'll be taking 3 compounds, a weak base, which is the ethyl amino benzoate, a weak acid, which is the benzoic acid, and a nonpolar molecule, which is the fluorine. We'll be adding them together, and we're going to separate the 3 compounds using extraction with acid-base properties. I got my lab coat on, it's all buttoned up. I got my glasses on, goggles on, I got my gloves on. I'm ready to go. Let's get started. The first thing we want to do in this experiment, once again, take out the 125 milliliter separatory funnel, make sure it's clean, check it with acetone, take out the ring stand with the 3-inch ring holder, and place the 125 milliliter separatory funnel into the 3-inch ring holder. Take a funnel, place it on top. Add 1 gram of the benzoic acid that's already been pre-weighed. Then we'll add 1 gram of the ethyl 4-amino benzoate. It's already been pre-weighed. And then we'll add 1 gram of the fluorine. It's already been pre-weighed. All 3 are going to be added using the funnel as a guide into the separatory funnel. Next, since we're going to be adding ether, which is extremely volatile, the next step will be done in the hood. We're going to add 30 milliliters of ether, get the 3 compounds into solution with the ether, and then we'll bring back the separatory funnel to your workstation. Alright, so I bring over the separatory funnel with the 3 compounds. I'm going to take the glass stopper off. The pump is set at 10, I want 30, so I'll give it 3 pumps. And you're going to notice that the 3 compounds readily go into solution. All you're really going to have to do is swirl it around for a few times. If you have to, you'll put on the top, you'll invert it, let the air out. 1 shake, air out. Two shakes, air out. Three shakes, air out. By this time, most of the compound should already be in solution. If you still got to shake it a little more, let the air out. Shake it a little more. Repeat this process until all the compounds are in the ether solutions. It really shouldn't take that long. Letting the air out. Okay. All 3 compounds are in solution now. Now that all 3 compounds are in the ether solution, we're going to do our first extraction, which is with the base. What the base will do, it'll take a proton away from the benzoic acid, giving it a charge, and then that charged molecule will now be soluble in the water from the base and will not be soluble in the ether anymore. So, the pump is set at 25. What I'm going to do is just give it 1 pump. First thing you always do, you swirl it around. Follow the procedure. Invert it. Let the air out. 1 shake. 2 shakes. 3 shakes. Close it up. Bring it back to your workstation. So at the workstation, shake it for like 10 seconds. Release the pressure. Shake it for another 10 seconds. Release the pressure. Do this 3 more times. Place it back into the ring stand. Take a 100 milliliter beaker with the label 1 molar sodium hydroxide rinse. Place it under the separatory funnel. Let the layers separate. Remember, always have this off when you're separating the layers. Okay, the aqueous layer is going to come down. It's going to have the sodium hydroxide solution, and it's going to have the benzoic acid in it. What we'll do next, after we collect the sodium hydroxide solution with the benzoic acid in it, we'll precipitate the benzoic acid out using 6 molar HCl. What the 6 molar HCl will do, will protonize the benzoic acid, making it no longer polar. Since it's no longer polar and it's in a polar solvent water, it'll precipitate out. Okay, first thing I want to do is separate them. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do with this solution, I'm going to acidify it till it gets to a pH about 2. I have my pH paper. I'm going to take a strip out, rip it, put it along here. I'm going to add 6 molar HCl dropwise until I get a pH about 20. What I'll do is I'll add it at 20 drops at a time. I'll take the glass stirring rod, stir it around, and just dot the pH paper. It's still very basic. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add another 20 drops. After adding another 20 drops, stir it around. pH is very basic still. Going to add another 20 drops. Stir it around. Dip it. Still very basic. Take it, add another 20 drops. Stir it around. Oh, it's getting a little better. Originally, it was at blue, which it meant it was like 12. Now, it's kind of looking at it's like 5. Add 20 more drops. Stir around. Dot it. Now it looks like we're about close to 2. Just to make sure, I'll add 10 more drops. Stir it around. There we go. We're definitely at 2 now, 1 or 2, which is good. So, I'm going to ice bath this for about 10 minutes, then do a vacuum filtration. While I'm waiting for the first solution to cool down, I'm going to do the second extraction with the HCl, 1 molar HCl. So, set on 25. I'm going to give it 1 pump. Swirl it around. Invert it. 1 shake. Invert it. Let the pressure out. 2 shakes. Invert it. Let the pressure out. 3 shakes. Invert it. Let the pressure out. And now I'll bring it back to the workstation. So at the workstation, I'm going to finish shaking the solution. Shake it for like 10, let it out, and then repeat this 4 times. Place the 125 milliliter flask into the ring holder. Open the top. Let the 2 layers separate. Get a 100 milliliter beaker. Label it 1 molar HCl rinse. Once they separate, separate the 2 layers. Now, what I'm going to do now is add base to this solution that contains the ethyl 4-aminobenzoate. When we add base to this solution, we're going to deprotonize the amino group, which gave the molecule a charge, which allowed the molecule to go into solution. Now we take away that charge, the molecule will precipitate out. So, I bring it over here, 20 drops at a time. I'm going to add the 6 molar sodium hydroxide, testing it each time on the pH paper. So here, 20 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to get a pH around 12 or greater. Stir it around. The pH is very low still. Take another 20 drops. Stir around. pH is still very low. Take another 20 drops. Stir it around. Boom. That was about 25 drops. That did it though. That made the pH at about 12. So we're ready to take this, put it in the ice bath with the other solution and let it cool down. And then we're going to vacuum filtrate both of these. What we're going to do with this in the ether layer is take a 100 milliliter beaker, place a boiling stone in here, pre-weigh it, and then pour the organic layer into the 100 milliliter beaker. Now I'm going to bring this to the hood and boil it off. Keep the temperature about 10 degrees above. When it gets to be pasty, I'm going to take it off, put it in the back of the hood for like 10 minutes, weigh it, bring it back, put it back in the hood for about 2 or 3 minutes, weigh it again, and when we get a consistent weight, we know all the ether has gone. And so we're going to take the weight of the 100 milliliter flask with the boiling stone, and we're going to take the weight of the flask with the boiling stone and the fluorine that's left over after ether is evaporated. Take the difference, and that'll give us the amount of ether. That'll give us the amount of fluorine we recovered. So, the 1 molar HCl solution rinse has been cooling for a while, and the 1 molar sodium hydroxide solution rinse has been cooling for a while. Place only one filter paper in the center. Turn on the vacuum and swirl it around a little, swirl it around, and collect the crystals. Now, you can take a bit of DI water here, fill it half with DI water, half with ice, and if you want, you can squirt it around a lot, but don't use a lot of it to try to get a little bit more out. Then let the vacuum run for about 5 minutes. The vacuum's been running for about 5 minutes, so I want to take a watch glass. First, shut off the vacuum. I want to take a watch glass. I want to invert it. I'm going to put this in the drying oven, 10 minutes, take it out, put another 10 minutes, take it out. Repeat this process until I get a consistent weight. For the sodium hydroxide rinse, you might want to take a paper towel, just wipe out the butyl funnel a little. Place it back in, turn on the vacuum. Take 1 filter paper, put it in there. Take the solution, Swirl it around a little. Pour it in the center. Once again, you can take a little bit of ice DI water to help you transfer it. And once again, I'm going to let the vacuum run for about 5 minutes. Now the vacuum's been running for about 5 minutes, so I'm going to shut off the vacuum. Take a pre-weighed watch glass again, invert it. Get all the crystals you can out. And we're going to do the same process. Put this in the drying oven for 10 minutes. Take it out, let it cool, weigh it, put it back in for another 10 minutes, weigh it, and we're going to repeat that process until we get the same weight. Once we get the same weight, we know that all the water has been driven off. So we've isolated the benzoic acid, we've isolated the ethyl-4-amino benzoate. Now we have to isolate the fluorine. This takes place in the hood. So this is the ether layer that has fluorine in it. You already know how to set up this boiling apparatus in the hood. Take the clamp, put it up as high as you can. Make sure the temperature is around 45 degrees, 10 degrees above the boiling point of diethyl ether. Stick it in there with a boiling stone and let it boil. When it gets to be pasty, we're going to stick it in the back of the hood and keep weighing it until we get a consistent weight, and then we know all the ether is gone. It's been boiling for like 10-15 minutes. All the ether is boiled off and you get this paste. You want to undo the beaker, put it in the very back of the hood, let it sit there for like 10 minutes, take it out, weigh it, put it back, let it sit there for another 3 or 5 minutes, weigh it again. Repeat this process until you get a consistent weight. Now once you get a consistent weight, you're going to take the weight of the 100 milliliter beaker with the fluorine and subtract it from the 100 milliliter beaker alone. The difference will give you the weight of the fluorine. So now you have all three products' weights. You're going to have 4% yields. 1% yield is the weight of each individual product divided by the total weight of all three products times 100. The fourth one is you're going to combine the weight of all three products divided by the total weight you started with of all three times 100. Make sure you clean up. Make sure you put the vacuum apparatus away clean. Make sure all the chemicals are deposited in the proper spots. And hopefully this video was helpful. Thank you.